Hello and welcome to the latest edition of From the Archives. My name is Katie and once more I'll be guiding you through some of the documents in the GMP Museum collection. Today we're looking at a Salford City officer and I picked one of these over in Manchester City because the records do go into more detail and have an image with them, which sadly our Manchester records do not. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Thomas Box. So the format is the same for each one of these images. We have a picture of the officer on the right hand side and the rest of the information is chunked up accordingly. To the left we have all the basic details, name, place of birth, physical description, etc. in much the same way that the criminal records are kept. We can see that Thomas was born on the 17th of May 1891 in Hanley, Staffordshire. He's quite tall at 5'10" with dark brown hair, blue eyes and a fresh complexion. Thomas was a labourer before joining the police and was married. Religion is also recorded here, Protestant, and marks mean any tattoos or scars, and we can see that Thomas had quite a lot of tattoos. It's not unusual to see an officer with tattoos recorded, but there is quite a lot and they're very varied. Recorded here are flowers, animals, swords, names of loved ones perhaps. It also gives us a location so we can see these are across his forearms and shoulder, and it must have looked quite spectacular. Moving on with any particulars of public service, so 1907 to 1911, Thomas was part of the Grenadier Guards, which he was then required to rejoin at the outbreak of war in 1914. Luckily we can see he made it through as he was demobbed on the 30th of December 1918 and then rejoined the constabulary. Before that we have his discharge notes. Thomas was discharged from the force in June 1926 after 12 years service due to being medically unfit with varicose veins, and his character on discharge has been described as very good. Now that's not the best character reference you can get, the highest is exemplary, but that's still good going. All this information so far has been personal. If we move down the page we'll start to get his police record. Thomas joined as a probationer in 1913 and he stays as a constable until his discharge. If he had moved up the ranks we would have seen that reflected across this section, but he has moved up the classes of constable, which would have improved his wages. Lastly on this page we have what I think is the most interesting information about the awards and offences, that's disciplines. We'll do the offences first. In June 1920 he was deprived of 2 days leave for fighting with P.C. Thompson while off duty, and considering he wouldn't have had a lot of leave to begin with, this would have been quite a blow. Then in 1921 he commits 3 offences over the space of 5 days. 2nd of January, neglect of duty, failing to work his patrol, so he hasn't been working the area he was assigned to properly. And then on the 7th he was 7 minutes late for parade and then makes misleading statements to the chief, and potentially these 2 incidents are related. For these 3 offences he is reduced 1 class for 12 months and that would decrease his salary for that time period. But let's not dwell on the offences because his merits are next. So here you have any outstanding work that the officer has done, and we can see many brave deeds throughout these pages. For Thomas that involved rescuing a woman from drowning in the Manchester, Bury and Bolton Canal in 1920, for which he was rewarded £2. And a monetary reward is common for this period. Then in 1921, after he's been reduced a class, he must really pull his socks up as he's reinstated back a class within 3 months for completing his duties in an energetic and efficient manner. And finally, he received a Chief Constable's commendation for arresting a well-known thief on enclosed premises with zeal and efficiency. It is also worth noting that Thomas Box actually has 2 records within the Salford appointments, an earlier and a later one. This is his later record and has an updated photograph. The early one shows him as a much younger man when he first joined the force. So I hope you've enjoyed having a look at this record today. So that's Thomas Box. We will be having a look at more officers in the coming weeks, and remember, do let us know if there's any documents that you would like us to explore, because at the end of the day, this is your museum. Thanks for listening and join us again for another edition. Bye now!